Hello students, myself Iqbal Singh Sandhu. I'm faculty for Political Science and International Relations optional paper at Vajiram and Ravi. Dear students, in this particular video, I'm going to have a brief discussion with you on PSIR optional. I'm sure students, you are already aware that optional choice is one of the most crucial choices which a civil services candidate is supposed to make during his or her civil services preparation. And it also can be a make or break choice. And in fact, most of the students have been opting for PSIR optional. PSIR optional is one of the most preferred choices, and it also has a very high success rate. So we shall have a discussion in this video that what are the reasons for its high success rate and how you should go about while opting for PSIR optional and what should be your preparation strategy. So let's commence our discussion. So students, as far as PSIR optional is concerned, one reason why it has been so successful and why students they opt for PSIR optional is that it does not contribute only for the 500 marks in the mains examination. In fact, PSIR optional is very suitable. Why? Because it contributes 1000 plus marks in the current pattern of the mains examination. Why, students? Because PSIR optional has a great deal of overlapping with the GS syllabus and also with the essay paper. All the 4 GS papers and the essay paper, there's a considerable amount of syllabus in these papers which does overlap with the PSIR syllabus. Therefore, the PSIR students, they do get a competitive edge over their competitors and they end up scoring good marks not just in the optional paper but also in these other GS papers and also the essay paper. In fact, I shall have a discussion with you here today that how there is a great deal of overlapping as far as the optional and GS syllabus is concerned. When you look at this GS paper 1, students, in GS paper 1, there are these topics: the freedom struggle, post-independence consolidation, and post-independence history. In this GS paper 1 topic regarding the post-independent political consolidation of the country and also the role of the freedom struggle, this is also there in the PSIR syllabus. In the PSIR syllabus also, students do study the constitution making of the country and how the political consolidation happened in the country after independence, the post-independent history and political events which happened, major political events which has happened after the independence. This is what PSIR optional students also study, so they do get an edge here as well. Also in GS paper 1, you have in the syllabus such topics like colonization, decolonization, political philosophies like communism, socialism, communism, and this is innate part of the PSIR optional syllabus also. In PSIR optional, students they develop expertise, mastery over these philosophies. What is communism, capitalism, socialism, colonialism, decolonization? These are philosophies which are there in the PSIR syllabus. So naturally, the PSIR students would be able to attempt all these questions in the GS paper also. In GS paper 1, there is also this topic, role of women and issues related to women rights and women development. And this is also something which PSIR optional students are easily able to tackle, because in the PSIR optional paper, we have this topic called feminism. The philosophy of feminism in detail it is explained and covered in the PSIR optional syllabus. So PSIR optional students have good command over issues related to women rights, issues related to development of women, empowerment of women, and this is also there in the GS paper 1, so they are able to tackle these questions. The effects of globalization on Indian society, this is also there in GS paper 1, and this is also where PSIR optional students are able to score very well, because globalization is an integral part of the syllabus of PSIR paper 2. In PSIR paper 2, in multiple chapters, globalization is mentioned there. In PSIR paper 2, we study what is globalization, how globalization has an impact on the global politics, how globalization has affected the state, how globalization has affected state sovereignty, what impact globalization had on developed countries, developing countries. All this is in the PSIR syllabus. So for PSIR students, this topic of GS paper 1 also becomes very easy. Then in GS paper 1, we also have such topics like social empowerment, communalism, regionalism, and secularism. These are also part of the syllabus of PSIR paper 1. In PSIR paper 1 syllabus, all these topics are mentioned there. So these topics of GS paper 1, you can see that they greatly overlap with the PSIR syllabus, and naturally the PSIR students therefore are bound to score good marks in GS paper 1 also. also. Then also, if I move on, if I go to GS paper 2, the entire GS paper 2 students, excluding certain parts related to governance and social issues, is overlapping with the PSIR syllabus. The entire GS paper 2. GS paper 2 predominantly is about Indian government and politics, Indian polity and international relations. And these topics of Indian polity and international relations, this is what we study in PSIR also. In political science and international relations also, PSIR paper 1 section B is all about Indian government and politics. And the entire PSIR paper 2 is about international relations. So for PSIR students, GS paper 2 becomes extremely easy. In fact, in my past experience of so many years, I have seen that my PSIR students, successful PSIR students, they've always scored very good marks in GS paper 2, because GS paper 2 greatly overlaps with the PSIR optional paper, and they do not need any extra preparation to attempt questions in GS paper 2, so they get a competitive edge in GS paper 2 as well. Then of course, students in GS paper 3 also. In GS paper 3, we have such topics like land reforms, green revolution, effects of liberalization on India, on Indian foreign policy. These are topics which are there in the PSIR optional paper also. Same, land reforms in India, the impact of green revolution, impact of liberalization on our economy, how India transitioned from a closed economy to an open economy. These are topics which are of course overlapping with the PSIR optional syllabus as well, and these topics are covered in much detail there also. Also issues related to environment, environmental preservation. These are also topics. This is a very important topic. Global warming, climate change negotiations. Entire politics of climate change negotiations is what we study in PSIR paper 2. So this also PSIR paper 2 students, they develop great amount of mastery over green politics, over how environmental negotiations are happening between countries, what are the multilateral solutions in order to preserve the environment. All this will also help them appear for the GS paper 3 and do well in GS paper 3 as well. Then also the role of state and non-state actors as far as security threats are concerned. In your GS paper 3, you have this topic called internal security threats. Internal security threats which are a consequence of action of non-state actors. So the role of non-state actors, how transnational terrorist networks, how insurrectionary terrorism, how insurgency has been causing external and internal security threats for India. So this is what we study in the PSIR paper also. The role of non-state actors, internal security threats, external security threats. This is an innate part of the PSIR syllabus, and we have a discussion on all these topics in PSIR as well. So students would be easily able to attempt these questions. Also GS paper 4 students. The entire GS paper 4 for PSIR students, it becomes very easy to score good marks in the ethics paper. That is the GS paper 4. Because in GS paper 4, we use moral thinkers and philosophers to write good answers in the ethics paper. And these moral thinkers and philosophers are part of the PSIR syllabus, whether it is Plato or it is Aristotle or it is Aurobindo or it is Gandhi or it is Ambedkar or it is Marx. All these are part of PSIR syllabus. And these philosophers and their thought is very helpful in attempting the ethics paper. So all the 4 GS papers, you can see there's a great deal of overlapping between PSIR syllabus and the GS syllabus. And that is the reason why the PSIR students, they do get a competitive edge over their other competitors. And PSIR students, they do not end up scoring good marks in the optional paper. They also end up scoring good marks in the GS papers and also in the essay paper. In fact, every year without fail, students, we have seen that in the essay paper, there are at least 1 or 2 topics which are directly related to PSIR syllabus. And many times we have seen there have been essay topics which have been on Indian foreign policy, international politics. And for PSIR students, it becomes very easy to attempt such essay topics. And also there may be topics directly related to theory or Indian politics. So every year we have seen this, that at least 1 or 2 topics in the essay paper, they are directly related to PSIR syllabus. And for PSIR students, attempting the essay paper also becomes easy. So they get a competitive edge, an advantage, not just in GS papers, also in the essay paper and even in the interview. In the interview also, most of the questions in the interview would be related to issues of national politics and international politics. And that is where PSIR students, they feel very comfortable. So that is the reason why students, PSIR has been one of the most preferred choices, and it has such a high success rate. Because in the current pattern of the examination, the PSIR student is able to do very well in other mains exams also, other GS papers and essay paper, and even in the personality test, which is also known as the interview. And therefore, the possibility probability of a PSIR student getting selected increases. PSIR acts like a catalyst for the selection. You know, if you have PSIR optional and if you are a good student, if you are say sincere student, your probability to get selected in the examination exponentially increases because of such factors and because of these reasons. This is the reason why it is one of the most preferred choices and it has such a high success rate. One more reason, students, there's the comprehensiveness and the question predictability pattern which is there as far as PSIR paper is concerned. Over the years we have seen that PSIR question papers, there is a certain predictability pattern which is there. We can identify certain common themes which are asked in the paper every year. This also makes it very easy for not just the humanities but even students from non-humanities background, students from engineering background, commerce background, sciences background to also do well in PSIR. In fact, a lot of students from non-humanities background, they do very well in PSIR because there's a certain degree of predictability in the question pattern, and also the comprehensiveness of the PSIR syllabus helps them to score good marks in the other GS and essay paper also. So this is also one of the reasons why it has been such a popular choice. And also students, few students may have this query that the syllabus is very lengthy. PSIR syllabus has been PSIR paper 1, which talks about political theory. There is political theory in section A, political theory and thought. In section B, you have Indian government and politics. Then you have PSIR paper 2, which is entirely on international relations and international politics. So students, they have this query at times that the syllabus is very lengthy and certain portions of the syllabus are also dynamic. That means they may be related to current affairs. And therefore, they hesitate to opt for this optional because of the length of the syllabus, because of the vastness of the syllabus, and because of the dynamic nature of the syllabus. In fact, students, I would like to clarify this doubt. In fact, it is not a limitation. It is your asset. When you take up PSIR, yes, there is a lengthy syllabus. The syllabus is not a short syllabus. There is a quite comprehensive syllabus. But this comprehensive syllabus, when you cover this gives you an edge, an advantage in other GS and essay papers. So when you prepare for PSIR, you are going to get competitive advantage in other portions of the exam also. And you are therefore going to score well in other papers as well, which will give you advantage in your overall selection. So that is one reason why you should not worry about it. Secondly, dynamic nature of the syllabus. There may be some hesitation that PSIR optional is dynamic. That means a lot of topics are related to current affairs. So that is also your asset, students. In fact, PSIR optional students, because of their optional requirement, they develop a good habit to read newspapers. And that good habit helps them in their civil services selection. Because anyways, whether you take up PSIR or you don't take up PSIR, irrespective of whatever optional paper you have to read newspapers to get selected. You have to develop a good habit of reading the newspaper daily in order to get selected in this examination. So PSIR optional students, because of their optional requirement, they develop this good habit of reading the newspaper, which helps them in other GS papers and the essay paper also. So that is the reason why, there is no shortcut to success in this particular examination. If you go through the grill, of the PSIR, you're naturally bound to succeed in this particular exam. Also, students, now I would like to discuss with you that while preparing for PSIR, and especially the way we do it in our institute in Vajiram and Ravi, how do we go about PSIR classes here in our institute? I'd like to tell you the special features of our PSIR classroom program. So now, students, let's discuss what are the special features of our PSIR optional classroom program at Vajiram and Ravi. Students, here in Vajiram, we follow an approach where our mantra is that we want to provide one-stop solution for our PSIR students. Everything what is required to excel in PSIR paper, that is what we intend to provide here at Vajiram and Ravi in our classes. Our priority, students, here is to help our students to develop crystal clear conceptual clarity and also in-depth theoretical understanding of the PSIR topics. That is what we intend to do for our students. We understand that if they want to excel in the paper, it's not just that they will be able to do that on the basis of rote learning of notes. No, students, that's not going to help you. If you want to excel in the PSIR optional, you have to stand out from your competitors. And that will only happen if you have crystal clear conceptual clarity of the topics and also you have in-depth theoretical understanding. Therefore, in our classes, students, we focus on lucid explanation of the topics. Lucid explanation of the topics instead of mere dictation of notes. No, we don't do that. We don't make our students sit here for 2.5 hours and dictate them notes. We make the class interactive. It's not just a monologue, it's an interactive class where we focus on lucid explanation of the topics, of all the topics, so that they can develop conceptual clarity and in-depth theoretical understanding, theoretical depth which is required to excel in this examination. That is what we intend to provide. And also, students, we provide well-researched, concise and exam-ready study material for all the topics of the syllabus. For all the topics, we provide this material for our students, and our study material is more than sufficient to excel in this examination. We also provide notes for our students for the updated content also, if there are any current developments happening, and for that also the updated content is provided to the students even after the course. We do not leave our students the moment the course ends. If our students are good students, if they qualify the prelims examination, after that also they approach us and we provide them with updated material also. So exam ready, concise and well researched study material is provided to students for all the topics of the syllabus. Also, furthermore, I would like to tell you students that if you want to excel in this examination, then you must also be a proactive aspirant. Why I'm saying so, proactive aspirant? The pattern of the exam is changing. Not really in terms of syllabus or the pattern of questions, but the way it is being conducted. Every year you may have noticed this, that the gap between the prelims paper and the mains paper is reducing. So much so that next year, now in 2025 calendar has already been released by UPSC. The gap between the prelims and the mains paper is less than 3 months. Roughly 2.5 months are only available between prelims and mains in the next year upcoming exam in 2025. So therefore, you also will have to change your strategy. What have been the constant trend? The constant trend is that let me do the classes now. As far as answer writing is concerned, this is why I will do after I qualify prelims. I will join a crash course, I will join a test series, and I will develop answer writing abilities after I qualify prelims. That is now not possible. You will not be able to do this in 2.5 months. In 2.5 months, whether you will revise your topics or you will develop answer writing capabilities from scratch, it is not going to be possible in coming years. So you have to change strategy also. Therefore, students, we in our course here in Vajiram, it is our priority that test series and answer writing program is an integral portion of our classroom program. It is an integral aspect of our classroom program. We, as far as answer writing is concerned, separate workshops are held as far as answer writing is concerned for our PSIR students. And test series is part of the PSIR optional program. And during the classes itself, when we teach, every week we have a weekly test. On the weekend we hold a test. For whatever topics have been taught during the week, we have a weekly test. And then there is a discussion on that test. Model answers is also given to students, and feedback is given to students how they can write better, how can they improve their answer writing capabilities. In fact, whenever we teach a topic in the classroom, after we finish the topic, we discuss all the PYQs, previous year questions. Without that, teaching doesn't make any sense. Once we have discussed the topic, students must also know what kind of questions have been coming in the PSIR paper, how to approach those questions. All PYQs are discussed in the classroom. And then we have weekly tests, we have full-length tests, we have answer writing workshops where we make sure that we are also able to help our students develop answer writing capabilities. So throughout the course, students would not just finish the syllabus and read the syllabus, but also along with the course, we make sure they're able to develop the answer writing capabilities so that when they finish the course, they're already an end product. They're ready for the mains. It's not that some procrastination is being done where answer writing has been postponed after the prelims. No, everything is done during the course itself. Also, students, our commitment here is timely and comprehensive coverage of the syllabus. Our commitment is to finish the syllabus within 5.5 months, and we greatly value the time of our students. The precious time of our students, we adhere to our commitment. Classes are held 7 days a week. Their classes are held very professionally without any breaks so that we are able to finish the syllabus within 5.5 months. So that is also one commitment which we always adhere to. Also, students, PSIR mentorship. PSIR mentorship is also part of the course. myself and also my esteemed colleague Dr. Sushant Verma, we are always available for our students. We are available for our students to help them, to mentor them, and to help them sail through the uncharted waters of civil services preparation. Online students, offline students, we have such mechanisms where they are able to get in touch with us whenever they want. So faculty members themselves are always available for students for personal mentorship, for personal guidance. Even online students, for them a separate portal has been created where they will be able to submit their tests during the course. And therefore they are also equally able to participate in answer writing and test series program, and in the same manner in which offline students are able to do this. So that is how students we intend to cover PSIR optional in our institute here. I hope this discussion has been beneficial for you. I have tried to explain to you why students take up PSIR optional, why it has been one of the most successful choices, and also I have tried to explain to you how do we go about PSIR preparation in our institute. Also students, there you can see a QR code on the screen here, and you may scan the QR code to get more further information regarding the PSIR optional course at Vajiram and Ravi, which is going to commence on 6th of October. Thank you students. I hope to see you in the classroom. Thank you so much.